Round 12 edition of the Football Town Show on the menu tonight, ladies and gents. A New South Wales goalkeeping starlet Tani Rose Kelly has come down to play for Fitzroy, and they're taking on ladder leaders Melbourne Uni FC. And then old rivals Richmond and Pascoe Vale go head to head, which will be a mouthwatering clash. Bottom of the table, Heidelberg FC will look to get a shock 3 points against Ashburton. Then Georgia Alberti and the EFA Eagles will look to upset Jasmina Pedic's Vic Vipers FC. In the form of his life, Tomo Grigic will look to continue Metropolitan's good form against bottom of the table Albert Park. And then Pascoe Vale captain Andre Carroll will have to test his skills against Australia's best in captain of the Futsalroos, Greg Giovanelli. Arm is in good form in defence for Hume, and he'll have to take on Mikulam's returning striker Vlado Zoric. Then in the final game of the night, Ashburton's Ricky Castro takes on former manager Milton Sakos. But that's all from me now, ladies and gents. Let's go to Jimmy Soufis for all the women's action.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the women's side as we take a look at the round 11 results. Richmond overcame Heidelberg 6-3 in the first game of the night. Pascoe Vale had a close one with the Vic Vipers winning 2-1. Ashburton pulled out a draw with Fitzroy 4-all, and Melbourne Uni slapped EFA 12-0. Moving on to round 12 now, Fitzroy took on Melbourne Uni in the first game of the night in what proved to be an absolute belter. But it was Melbourne Uni who had the brighter start, with Tani Rose Kelly once again in goal for Fitzroy. And Rose Kelly was beaten for all money there before Zoe Stamatopoulos cleared the ball off the line. And it was Stamatopoulos who had a good strike at the other end before earning a penalty and converting it. And Fitzroy took a shock 1-0 lead after Melbourne Uni had dominated for most of the half. Jess Au then turned the ball over, and Danny Gadelge played in Lisa Woods, who played it back to Gadelge, and Fitzroy were 2-0 up and riding with the momentum. Another turnover at the back from Melbourne Uni allowed Gadelge to have a big save forced out of land, and Elena Vadke pushed it over the informed land, but she couldn't do anything about that, and Danny Gadelge had her second and a 3-0 lead for Fitzroy. Cook with another turnover, and Juliette Brown had her first effort blocked, but played it in to Stacey Papadopoulos, and she made it 4-0 before the half, Fitzroy looking all but home and hosed. A poor start to the second half though for Fitzroy. Priscilla Rubas found completely unmarked as she toe-poked the ball past Rose Kelly. And then Marquez with a turnover, which eventually fell to Nikki Cook at the back post. And Melbourne Uni were on their way back, the ladder leaders really not wanting to drop more points. Vadke then with a brilliant turn and shoot as her effort was saved to the near post by Land. Nikki Cook's long ball was failed to be cleared by Gadelge, and her teammates could not clear it either. Juliette Brown failed to clear before Rose Kelly looked to be fouled, and Marquez backheeled the ball in, and Melbourne Uni were back within a goal. Fitzroy unable to stop the Melbourne Uni rampage. Elena Vadke lost the ball, and Marcela Marquez hit the upright before winning it back and cutting it back to teammate Letizia Samet as she levelled the score at 4-all. And with a last-ditch effort, Fitzroy looked to regain their lead. Stacey Papadopoulos playing to the back post where no one was, and then a 3-on-1 Gadelge to Stamatopoulos, and it was saved brilliantly by Land.
I'm here with Fitzroy FC import goalkeeper Tani Rose Kelly. Tani, I would say fantastic performance, but it was a game of two halves, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The girls came out really strong. I know the girls from F League, so I've seen them play for Melbourne Heart. Different, small court, it's a lot more faster. They just came out of the gates 100 miles an hour, and they had some good linking passes and back post stuff. They really worked as a unit. Second half, I don't know if it was legs tired or Melbourne Uni had that ticker to get them through to the end of the game.
Second clash on the card saw two good rivals who fought for the title last season, Richmond and Pascoe Vale. Both sides had a slow start to this season, and it was Richmond who got off to the better start in this game. Pascoe Vale doing a little too much at the back, and the ball fell to Penny Vakopoulos as she picked out Steph Tunty, who was back for her second game of the season, and they loved that with a celebration. Richmond going ahead 1-0. Australian player though, Sarah Richardson picked out Chloe Janowski, who found Natalie Martinu, and then Sarah Clapham made a save, but Ange Durston Ryan was at the back post to put it away, and Pascoe Vale were level at 1-1. Aziza Renly then tried to find Penny Bakopoulos, and eventually she had to fight her way through. Steph Tunty almost had a chance at her second, with Molly Bullman pulling off a good save. Heading into the second half, Illy Jacob found the head of Sarah Richardson as she just nodded over. Naomi Mackey, who recently crossed over to Pascoe Vale, picked out Gronowski there as she almost dinked it over Clapham, and Pascoe Vale were really starting to dominate this game. But Barkopoulos then cut it back, and Tunty, who is a clinical finisher and is known as one, got her second of the game and restored their lead. Pascoe hit straight back though with Sarah Richardson dribbling all the way through the Richmond defence and Illy Jacob tapping home at the back post. It was 2-2 with not very long remaining. Richardson then had a chance to put her side in front, but she blazed a penalty over the top, hitting the crossbar. And with not long left at all, Richardson was the creator once again as she picked out teammate Illy Jacob, and the captain got her second of the game to get Pascoe a memorable win.
Unbelievable game out there. No team gave an inch. You battled your hearts out there, and at the end, Pascoe prevailed with the points that you really needed to stay in touch with Melbourne Uni.
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe first place is a bit out of our reach, but we'll definitely keep trying. But we definitely want those FAFL Cup spots, and yeah, I think we're just going to keep building every week, and yeah, improve our performances from the last few weeks, and I think we can finish definitely maybe in the top 2. Yeah.
Third clash of the night saw Heidelberg taking on Ashburton, two of the mid-table sides looking to get into the top 4. They would both need 3 points tonight, but only one could come away with it. And they got off to the better start as Irene Kurzopoulos got the early goal for Heidelberg to open the scoring, and they took a shock 1-0 lead. But it was short-lived though as Leah Barrett scored from the resulting kickoff and levelled the score. The Ashburton talisman really having a great season. Emma Gross then dribbled her way through the Heidelberg defence before slotting the ball past Bethany Mason-Jones, and Ashburton took a 2-1 lead. The ball was slotted through and found Leah Barrett again as she rattled the upright, and Ashburton really were getting on top. Minutes later though, the ball fell kindly for Emma Hubbard at the near post as she just squeezed it in, and Ashburton led 3-1. A great turn by Leah Barrett then allowed Hubbard to slot the ball through Mason-Jones for her second time, and it was 4-1 to Ashburton as they really were getting away from Heidelberg. Candice Karenias then got a lucky break as she finished on her left foot to keep Heidelberg in the game. Going into the second half, Michelle Verzi coming off the bench had just come on and made an instant impact as she opened the scoring in the second half, and it was back to 4-3. A good sequence of play between Kyrgios and Verzi had the scores level at 4-4, and Ashburton were really looking worried. Kyrgios was playing dominant futsal as she laid off Verzi for a quick fire second half hat-trick, and Heidelberg took the front. No wall, a strange reason why Heidelberg wouldn't put a wall, allowed Leah Barrett a free shot at their goal, and she made no mistake. With the scores locked at 5-5, Sinem Chelapi picked out Leah Barrett again, and she won the game for Ashburton.
I'm here with one of the stars from Ashburton FC, Leah Barrett. Well played tonight, Leah. They really pushed us to the end, Heidelberg. At one stage you look commanding league, 4-2, but the young team kept plugging around and got level terms, and then you pulled out a rip of a shot again and got the points for Ashburton.
Yeah, it was a tough game back and forth. We took an early lead, but they caught back up to us. It was tough at the end pulling out that last one, but a few good passes. Goals from almost all of our players on the team, except Danny playing goal, doing a big lead for us. That was good.
Ultra time! Phil Hart, ultra time in 10 seconds. Scored Fitzroy's first goal of the night League Premiership.
And driven through, and a big save there by Hanoi.
Simsek! Oh, no, Simsek! They had to try Metro, they had to go for it. So below, it's a run to Paris. Oh, it's a good safety for it.
And Yurka Avdic scores an absolute ripper of a goal. Lascaris knew nothing about that.
Hi, I'm Dana. You're watching the Football Town Show. Go Futsal!
Our final game for round 12 saw two struggling sides in the league take to the court, the Vic Vipers and EFA Eagles. Those sides in desperate need of 3 points if they were to stay in touch with the top 4, and it was EFA who got off to the better start, with Georgia Alberti really testing the Vipers' defence before squeezing the ball home, and they took a shock 1-0 lead. A well-taken set piece allowed Maddie Stockdale to find some space before squeezing it in at the near post, and EFA were up 2-0, much to the Vipers' disbelief. Ball marking later on, they allowed Kat Smith to drill home their first goal of the night, and the Vipers were back in the game. Smith then returned the favour to Benoit as she found the other corner, and the Vipers were level just like that with 2 set pieces. Going into the second half, Stockdale was then unmarked for a second time in the game as set pieces were really taking over this game. Michelle Duffy then levelled the score with an absolute thunderbolt and one of our goals of the week. EFA really wanted this win, and Hannah Ryan almost put them back in front. A great save by Salama. before Tanner Benoit then found the far corner to make it 4-3 and win the game for the Vipers.
I'm here with one of the consistent ones from the Vic Vipers, Tanya Benoit. Tina, tough game out there today. They really pushed it, the FA Eagles, and until the last few minutes, he's got over the line to get the very important 3 crucial points that the club was looking for.
Yeah, definitely. I think we learnt from last time we played them. We gave them a bit more space from the beginning and they got some goals up. So today we really tried to press high and it seemed to work in the end and we were able to keep the 4-3 up.
Well, that's the wrap for round 12, ladies and gentlemen. What a round it was. Plenty of shock results. Let's go through them now with you. Fitzroy drew 4-4 with Melbourne Union, absolute cracker. Pascoe with 2 late goals, got over Richmond 3-2. Ashburton just survived the scare against Heidelberg, winning 6-5. And the Vipers also made a late comeback, winning 4-3. Taking a look at the ladder now, Melbourne Uni remain top for now on 31 points. Richmond close behind them on 25 with a game in hand. Fitzroy in 3rd on 23. Pascoe in 4th on 21 with a game in hand. The Vipers in 5th on 14. Ashburton 6th on 11. EFA second last with just 2 wins on 6. And Heidelberg remain dead bottom with just the 1 win. Having a look at our top goal scorers now, Marcela Marquez up to 32 goals, an incredible season she's having. Second is teammate Letizia Samet on 14. Another Melbourne Uni star, Nikki Cook, on 13. Illy Jacobs sitting on 12. And Leah Barrett has broken the top 5 on 11. Next week's clashes, EFA Eagles will take on Richmond in the first game of the night. Heidelberg will take on Pascoe Vale. Melbourne Uni up against Ashburton. And Fitzroy will go up against the Vic Vipers in the last clash of the night. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Now over to the men's side of things with Matt Montgomery.
Taking a look at the round 11 results from last week, Pascoe Vale and the Vic Vipers played out a thriller in the El Clasico. Mickleham too good for Ashburton in an upset. Hume and Metropolitan also grabbed valuable wins. Looking at the first game for round 12, Albert Park, who are languishing at the bottom of the table, tried their luck against title aspirants Metropolitan FC, and it was no surprise that in the first run of play in the opening few minutes, Alia Kadic streamed forward and set up veteran striker Alexander Stevanovic, who tapped in at the back post. Then Albert Park drew level through their number 3, Andy Cow, who finished easily past Yana Kaczewski when he was given too much space. Gustavo Candello and Yuso Uladzila's well-worked set piece earned the league's number 1 striker his first goal of the game, and then he soon made it 2 when he turned his defender with ease. It seemed there was going to be no stopping Metropolitan. Candello set up Uladzila, who hit across the D for Ali Redzepovic, the veteran striker continually getting better with age. Midway through the first half, and Metropolitan were in a 6-1 lead, Redzepovic and Uladzila wreaking havoc, and there were no plans to stop there as even their defenders were getting in on the scoring. Ali Karic with a delightful run and volley past Tim Dane. Metropolitan seemed like they were trying to get all of their outfield players on the score sheet. Ernie Simsek was the next to register, and when Osta Shajabi's clearance hit Simsek and rebounded to Uladzila, the towering striker made sure that Metro's 12-1 lead was going to be almost impossible to overcome. But Albert Park's captain, Jose Vasquez, had other plans, his thumping strike reducing the deficit, but Uladzila made sure to cancel out the South Americans' effort. With a goal from the tightest of angles, Uladzila was out to break the goal-scoring record. With a deficit of more than 10 goals, Albert Park continued to play with a bit more freedom, Vasquez scoring his second cracker of the half, and added a little bit more respect to the scoreboard, but Metropolitan kept piling on the goals. Metropolitan captain Dino Redzepovic was the next on the score sheet. Batim Bahimi, who has only played a handful of games for Albert Park, showed what he was capable of as he finished easily past Michael Charmy. In the last couple of minutes of play, Albert Park were able to register a 5th, and it was through little-known Win-Win, who was also a late call-up by manager Michael Lamb, and then Metro's number 12, Alex Cobo, capped off the 16-5 result.
I'm here with one of the biggest stars Australia's ever seen. V-League star, Australian star. This bloke should be playing probably for Australia. JJ, just a lazy 9 today. 8 in the first half. I don't think that's ever been done. 8 goals in the first half. Were you chasing that record of 13 goals, or were you just thinking of the team things?
Team first, obviously, but I got told that the record's about 12, and when I got to 9, I was like, should I, shouldn't I? But at the end, it just mattered. Put more in the goal difference for our team. We're doing well as a Metro. We just keep stepping up each week. We wanted to concede less and less every week, and for today, probably too many again.
Too many, would you say?
Definitely too many again, but you know, things like that happen. Fatigue kicks in, and yeah, you cop one or two every now and then.
Cooper just deftly chips the goalkeeper. And Cooper with a lovely finish to put the Vic Vipers 3-0 in the lead. Oh, it's a good save by Blaine. Sonacool, what a finish! That's a lovely run and finish from Sonacool. He's put a 2-goal buffer with 1 minute left on the clock. Oh, it's a big save from Goran and it's a double save.
Eric over there, so focused through all of them. Their firepower really coming off.
Hi, I'm Nat. You're watching the Football Town Show. Go Futsal!
Detroit, who have been getting closer and closer to title rivals Pascoe Vale in recent outings, went to go one step further in tonight's game as they recruited two Futsalroos in Greg Giovanelli and Daniel Fogarty. Unfazed by their new signings, Joel De Silva put Pascoe Vale in front early on to a 1-0 lead. Andre Caro was next on the score sheet, latching onto a Sofiane Soufi sideball. Pascoe Vale seemed well in control early on. The Futsalroos had failed to make an impact early on. Sofiane Soufi finally got on the score sheet, the Frenchman being Fitzroy's bogey in recent outings. In the next run of play, Lucas Krull's through ball went through the legs of Ale Granollers and found the outstretched leg of Breno Pilati, who made it 4-0. A swift counter-attack by Soufi found Joel De Silva, and he found himself in a one-on-one position with keeper Joe Baker, and it was 5-0 at half-time. Fitzroy were absolutely stunned. Andre Coe continued his size momentum well into the second half, scoring the first goal of the final period. And then Fitzroy finally got their first of the game, Fernando De Moraes doing what he does best, and that's making a mockery of defences. Then there was a mini revival when Ben Montioni found enough space on the sideline from a corner, and the margin was only a mere 4 goals with plenty of time to spare. But Fitzroy were able to lock down the defences and score a late goal from Sofiane Soufi, second of the game. He capped off the 7-2 result.
I'm here with the Australian Futsalroo captain, Greg Giovanelli. Greg, first, welcome to the V-League. How did you find in your first game on a smaller court? Was it hard to adjust to the game style that you wanted to play?
Oh, it's definitely different. I'd say it suits certain players, and it's a shame you can't play on proper-sized courts because it'd make it a more entertaining game. But yeah, you have to adjust accordingly, and today we were outplayed, so it was a fair game. That's the way it is.
Greg, my last question is, you played in a lot of great competitions around Australia, around the world. I know it was your first game in the V-League. How would this competition compare?
Oh, the atmosphere is great here. You know, all the teams at the one location all day, the music, the way it's set up, it's a great idea. The concept's brilliant. So it's good fun.
The next game to follow was quite an intriguing one as Mickleham in 7th position took on Hume in 6th position. Hume, who made the EPOS Cup final of last season, haven't had the best run of results in 2013-14, but they're looking to right their wrongs as the end of the season draws nearer. Sachin Sisek getting his side off to the start they were after with a neat finish. Sisek, who hit a ball across the D, deflected off Mickleham defender Iggy Filipovic, and Hume was soon sitting pretty at 2-0. With the confidence of a 2-goal buffer, Mehmet Parlak, who found some space from a corner, and Hume were in a demanding position. Nejdat Zahin, who dispossessed Vlado Zoric in his own half, found Parlak for his second of the game as he put the Black Army into a 4-0 lead. Amin Kadad's side were by no means done with Mickleham yet, as Ahmed Azam and Aaron Mazinovic had a physical one-on-one battle, but Azam got the better of Mazinovic in the end, finishing Hume's 5th. Continuing his side's momentum from the first half, Nejdat Zahin got on the score sheet, which was more than well deserved. A delightful header from Sachin Sisek across the D fell to Zahin, then the loose ball to Sisek as he registered his second, continuing his good form back from injury. Sisek soon completed his hat-trick and he put his hand up for man of the match honours, and then it was only a matter of time until Mickleham got on the score sheet from Lockie Campbell, the beanpole striker, with a neat finish from close range. Not having the best season in front of goal, Matej Vajovski finally got on the score sheet as he scored his side's 11th, and Mickleham were destined for a humiliating result. That was until Vlado Zoric streamed in from the immediate kickoff and scored not one, but 2 goals to cap off the 11-3 result, leaving Zoric with plenty to think about for their clash next week with Albert Park.
I'm here with the tenacious skipper from Hume FC, Reza Kulakoglu. big build up to this game, because if Midland got the points, they would have been 2 points behind you, and that relegation battle would have been on. But now you have pulled away. Very important 3 points for the club. And the way the club came out and played today, you must be overwhelmed.
Yeah, we definitely are. We knew going into this game that we had to win. There was no ifs or no buts. We haven't had the best season, but that's credit to the league. The league's gone better. We had to win today, otherwise we're there in the relegation battles.
The final game of round 12 saw Ashburton FC take on Big Vipers. But the most entertaining fact about this game was former Viper striker Ricky Castro taking on his old side, and he was involved in the first goal as his back heel found Italian defender Davide Acavisi. Richie Ferguson, a former Young Player of the Year, showcased his skills and set up Castro for his first of the game, and he finished from a tight angle, putting Ashburton into a shock 2-0 lead. The next run of play, Adam Cooper came close to getting the Vipers first, but was unsuccessful hitting the post. But when gifted a 5th penalty, he made no mistake, one-on-one with Con Macris to make it 2-1 at the break. The start of the second half, Vipers got on level terms through Mirza Pedic. The striker has missed a lot of league action. He's getting back into some good goal-scoring form. Maxi Avram, who ducked and dived his way past the Ashburton defence, was unlucky hitting the foot of the right post. Adam Cooper suffered the same fate, hitting the metalwork as they searched for a goal to put them into the lead. Miguel Barrigos then completed the hat-trick of posts hitting the crossbar. That was until Johnny Barrientos found his brother Jason at the tip of the D, and he made no mistake to deliver the Vipers a well-deserved lead. Adam Cooper, with a traditional thumping strike, found Barrientos, who got his second at the back post, and the Vipers, with only minutes remaining, looked like they were going to register a hard-earned win, and the cherry on the cake was added by captain Johnny Barrientos, who capped off the 5-2 result. The Vipers go marching on.
I'm here with the star keeper from Vic Vipers, Kieran Pates. The boys got off to a slow start today, 2-0 down. Some very important, crucial saves you pulled off in that middle time of the game, and you fought your way back into the game and won comfortably at the end, Kieran. You must be ecstatic, because that were very important 3 points.
Oh, look, I mean, at the start of the game, that was the goal. It was just to stay composed, and the boys did it really well. As you said, we went down early, but we fought hard. We stayed composed. We didn't overreact and freak out, and proud of the boys. They played well.
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a round we've had. We've had a couple of Futsalroos fly out to New South Wales and showcase their skills, although Fitzroy couldn't get the job done with Fogarty and Giovanelli. Metropolitan got a thumping win over Albert Park as their misery continues. Hume defeated Mickleham, and the Vipers, as we know, overcame Ashburton in a close one. Taking a look at the round 12 standings, the Vipers lead the way on 33 points over Pascoe Vale, who are on 27. Metropolitan in third on 25, and Fitzroy round out the top 4 on 22, while Ashburton and Hume are locked on 14 points apiece. Mickleham well above Albert Park, who don't look like registering a point for the first time in V-League history. Taking a look at the race for the Golden Boot now, it's no surprise that Yuso Uladzilla leads the way as he scored 9 goals against Albert Park. He's followed by Ernie Simsek, Sofian Sufi and Ricky Castro on 18, while Adam Cooper sits in 5th position on 17. Taking a look at the round 13 fixture, all eyes will be on Albert Park to see if they can get a point against Mickleham. It possibly could be their last chance to register one. Pascoe Vale and Metropolitan take on each other in the match of the round. The Vipers take on Hume, and Ashburton take on Fitzroy. So that's all we have time for this week, ladies and gents. Let's go to Goal of the Week.